I'm Yvonne Armeo, and welcome back to another episode of our CEO Spotlight series. This week we are celebrating all things San Diego, and we are joined today by Kim Blickenstaff, who is the Executive Chairman and former President and CEO of Tandem Diabetes. Tandem Diabetes is Nasdaq listed under the ticker TNDM, and it is a medical device manufacturer and developer of medical technologies, and they specialize in insulin infusion therapy. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Excited to have you. So for our viewers, can you tell us a little bit about the meaning of Tandem and how it ties into your guys' mission?
Well, the concept was working in tandem with our patients and their caregivers and physicians to figure out what we could do to advance infusion therapy beyond where we started back in 2007. And so we use market research where we'd have focus panels, interviews, all sorts of things, Survey Monkey, all these different things, to constantly be in touch with our caregivers. And we use something called human factors science as well, which is sort of beyond market research. It's actually into the design of the interface, which is how Steve Jobs really did it at Apple. He actually would never admit to it, but that is the science you use, where you sit down and you ask a patient to use your proposed interface, and in tandem with them, you discover what's intuitive.
Thanks, that's really interesting. So it seems like tech plays a very large role in everything you do. What about the current products you have on the market in the treatment of diabetes?
Well, the T-Slim X2 is very unique in the industry. It's the only touchscreen based interface, and the software is updatable remotely, and that's never been done before. So we're bringing that Apple model to the patient's experience, because you get a pump reimbursed about every 4 years. Mm-hmm. And in order to get the latest innovation under the old model, you had to get a brand new pump. You had to swap it out, and there was cost involved. Now you just go online with an FDA-approved portal, you get a code, you go through some training, boom, you get your software updated. So you get your innovation immediately.
That's incredible. And now this new product also uses Basal IQ technology. Could you walk us through what that means?
We first integrated with the Dexcom line of sensors. That's continuous blood glucose monitoring sensors. Starting with their Generation 4, we're into Gen 5 and now Gen 6. What's unique about Gen 6 is that you don't have to do finger sticks any longer. So when we are paired up in an open loop setting, we eliminate the finger sticks. When we use Basal IQ, it's actually taking the readings from the CGM sensor. It's looking out forward 30 minutes, and it will shut off basal insulin, smart basal, Basal IQ, to keep you from going low. So think of it almost like a thermostat on your house. You set it to 70, which is what the system does. Doesn't want you to go under 70 mgs per deciliter. And at night, it'll just shut that off instantly and turn it back on when it's appropriate, when your values start coming back up, and you'll wake up and have a great night of sleep, and you'll see where it intervened during the course of the night.
Wow, that's incredible. Now you mentioned another Nasdaq listed company. San Diego is such an incredible and collaborative area. How has being down here and being headquartered here accelerated the mission of Tandem?
Well, obviously Dexcom is here, and they've been a pioneer in the continuous blood glucose monitoring arena. Mm-hmm. They've done extremely well. They're now a big company. I think they're going to do $1 billion in sales this year. And when we started, I don't know that they did $20 million. Mm-hmm. And so in 12 years, whatever we've been at it, they've really grown, and now we're trying to chase them. Mm-hmm. So in terms of the thought leaders, the people involved in diabetes here, we had Amylin Therapeutics, which was also in the diabetes space. So it's just one of those things, one of those disease states that is a focus here in San Diego, and it's a great thing for us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And it seems like there's a really great pool of talent and people who are really passionate about working for you guys. And you mentioned earlier that a good percentage of your employees actually have type 1 diabetes. What's it like having them in the office and being able to provide real life experiences?
It makes you live with it, actually. We all live with it. And before we had some of the improvements like Basal IQ, I'd always ask people, how was your night? And I'd get the smile, and not a good one. I woke up low, and I had to eat a ton of candy and blah, 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 and I'm tired. Or talking to other fellows who would have to drive home, trying to figure out how to keep from going low on the drive home, because you don't know how long it's going to take here in San Diego, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour and 20 minutes. And so that's the kind of thing they have to plan. And so you get into it in a really deep and intimate fashion when you have coworkers that have it.
Yeah, absolutely. I certainly did not realize, or I guess I didn't put together the sleep and even the commute, but that is a long period of time, and things can happen. So
yeah, one of the biggest problems is sleep deprivation. So you have your sleep deprived, and if you have a child with it, they're deprived and the parents are deprived. And what Basilite Q does is restore the ability to sleep at night because you're not going low. People don't have to worry about whether you're going to have a dead in bed syndrome, which is a real word we use. And so it just alleviates one of the huge drawbacks of insulin therapy. So it's been a real advance.
Wow. Well, certainly learning a lot. I'm super excited to see what Tandem is going to bring for us next. Now, you've been with the company for a very long time, over a decade. I'm interested to hear what you see in Tandem's future.
Well, yeah, I've been here since September of 2007, and there were 4 people that were in the company at the time. And a company dog, Jeff Cruzy had one. Tom Ulrich is still with us. And Tom, in fact, comes out of the aerospace industry. And he's one of the geniuses behind the algorithms that are using the CGM data to actually dose the insulin. And we're going to go ever more automated in terms of that closed loop. We want to automate also the bolus part of it. I can talk more about control IQ. But those kind of people, that kind of talent, you know, Jeff came to us straight out of college. He's never had another job. He's been with us 12 years. He's grown. He's the best software, you know, designer you're ever going to meet. And we have teams of people who do the actual interface, you know, so all the different screens, human factors testing that has to be done on that. So we have a wealth of talent that just isn't that traditional San Diego biotech kind of biochemistry skill set. It's a totally new engineering challenge for me. I really didn't have a lot of experience with it, but the talent was here. And so that's exciting.
Wow. Well, lots of different communities and talents coming together to propel Tandem into the next wave of devices and innovations for this really recognizable household disease. And so we look forward to seeing what's next, and we're really appreciative of your time today, and we wanted to bring a little taste of our market site to San Diego via our little mini tower here, and hoping you have a few minutes to play a game with us.
I'll play.
Awesome. We are back with Kim Blickenstaff, Executive Chairman and former President and CEO of Tandem Diabetes, who has very graciously offered to play our Nasdaq Tower game. So we're going to set the clock for 60 seconds. We're going to pull questions off the board,
and check you too.
You're going to answer as quickly as we can. We'll add up the points, and later on in San Diego week, we will reveal the winner. So are you ready?
I am ready.
Let's do this. Your first choice.
Give me 600.
Success for 600.
Do I win $600?
Maybe if you answer this correctly. What are the crucial elements to any successful team?
No silos, shared values of sincerity, honesty, treat each other with dignity. We have something that's called humble inquiry we use, which is, I admit I'm stupid and don't know anything, so I ask you, the expert, and if you tell me, then everybody feels good about what they just learned. So that's one of the things we use.
I like it, humble inquiry. All right, next question.
Oh boy. 200.
200, all right. What do we got? How are people different in your field now than before?
Well, we're seeing hope, you know, in the field of diabetes for the first time. There's been so many developments that have eliminated finger sticks for the first time, you know, these finger pricks. That's Dexcom's innovation. We are pairing it with algorithms that actually automate insulin delivery and basal IQ and then control IQ, and we're seeing really improved outcomes. People sleep better, fewer adverse events of going low and going high. So there's finally hope that it's going to get easier and better for type 1s.
Very good. All right, one last question.
Since we are paying me, let's go for 800.
Oh, let's go. We're going big. All right. What are your metrics for success?
Oh, wow. There's a lot of metrics. Number of patients that we have, number of hours they don't go low, the reduction in their adverse events. And I think if we do that, then the stock price is another metric.
All right, great answer. Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
We've got some points here that you've racked up, and that is it for this episode of our NASDAQ CEO series. Thanks so much for joining us.